Hello everyone and welcome to Don't Be Bored. Today I'm here to review Sea Salt and Paper, this tiny little card game for 2 to 4 players. And it says it plays in 30 minutes, but that's normally a maximum time that it will go up to. The game was provided to me for the review, and in this I'm going to teach you roughly how it works and then give you my thoughts and feelings. So let's work out how the game plays. As with many games, it's all about points, and you're going to earn these points over a number of rounds. The number of rounds could vary from one game to another, as well as the points total that you're trying to race to. So depending if it's 2 players, it's 40 points, 3 players, 35 points is like that end goal, and you can earn between 7 and many more points in a given round, so the number of rounds will also differ. In each round, the game is going to start off with no players having any cards, a deck of cards face down, and then 2 face-up cards in the separate discard piles. On your turn, you can draw 2 cards from the top of the deck, choose one to keep, and discard to one of the discard piles in the middle the other card. Now, there's a slight caveat of if there's only one discard pile at the moment, you do have to start the second one, but otherwise, choose one, get rid of one. You can also choose the top face-up card from either of the 2 discard piles, and that is just simply added to your hand. Now, why are you doing this? Well, there's a number of cards that you might try and collect for points, or some that give you a little bit of points, but also an ability. So, the ships, if you get 2 ships, you can play them face up in front of you. That's going to lock in that point. Those cards can't be touched, and also allows you to go straight away again, sort of taking a double turn. If you have a pair of crabs, well, you play them in front of you, again revealing it, you lock in that point, and its ability is you get to look through one of the discard piles. You have to choose which one first, look through it and choose a card to add to your hand. Get a pair of fish, and that's going to be a point when you play them down, as well as the top card from the deck being added to your hand as a nice little bonus. And the last one isn't necessarily a pair of something, but it's a shark and a swimmer. You get a sort of a pairing of those 2, you play it down and you steal a card from someone else's hand. So they can shuffle their hand, you don't get to know what it is, and you're going to steal a random card. The rest of the sort of cards in the deck don't have abilities as such, but they're going to be for point scoring. So maybe the anchor, for instance, there's 2 in the deck. If you have 1, no points. If you have both in your hand when the end of the round happens, that's 5 points. And there's other ones like shells and octopus, etc., that are going to build up in points the more of them that you have. Then there's some cards that go with those or with other things. So for instance, there's one for penguins. Penguins are one of these sets that the more that you have, but there's another card which is 1 point per penguin, or it might be 2 points per penguin, but that sort of thing. There are also mermaids, and we'll touch on them a little bit later, but they give you points for the biggest group of colour that you've got, because all the cards are different colours. If you have a second mermaid, that scores you the second biggest group, so it's not just the same number being added each time. And they could also be their own group, which are the white cards, so it could be the fact that your first scores your blue cards, and the second one is your white cards or your yellow cards or something. And they all add up to give you lots of points. So at some point in the round, when you have at least 7 points, be it from cards in front of you or your hand, you then start to have an additional choice. Instead of taking a turn, you can call last chance, which means everyone else apart from you has an extra go. We'll come on to why you might do that, but that ends the round. Or, once you've taken your turn and have at least 7 points, you can say, the round is over. Now, if you do that, that's when you go to actually count up everyone's points. If you've called last chance, you'll add up your points to see if anyone else managed to beat you. If none of them did, you'll score a bonus amount of points equal to your largest coloured set. So, I've got 3 blue cards of the dark blue cards. That's at 3 bonus points. However, if someone else has managed to beat your score, you're only scoring that colour set and not the rest of the points you'd built up. So there is a risk factor to that. And as a nice little extra twist and like push your luck right at the end, I think I can grab some more points. But remember, everyone else gets a turn before you actually calculate. So maybe look what's in the market and different things like that, and hope that someone's not got like that pair of anchors up their sleeve. Now, I did mention the mermaids that I'd come back to them, and that's because if at any point in the game, regardless of round, regardless of points already scored in previous ones, if you get all 4 mermaids, you throw them down, you reveal them, and you win the entire game. Now, I've not seen it happen, but it's possible, like shooting for the moon. The other little twist is if the deck runs out, no one scores any points. So if you think someone's going to be doing really well and they're maybe pushing their luck, or someone's looking for that last mermaid, well, maybe run the deck out and no one's scoring anything that round. So hopefully that's given you a rough understanding, and it does sound like quite a bit. But in general, you're playing a number of cards as pairs to gain a quick ability, or you're gaining the rest to do sort of set collections. And the more shells you've got, the more points you're going to score by the end of the round. And then at the end, once someone's got 7 points, they can choose to end the round at the end of their turn, or risk it and sort of try and get a little extra. And that's kind of Sea Salt and Paper in a nutshell. You are set collecting, you are pushing your luck, you are trying your hardest to maybe play that shark swimmer combo to steal a card from someone's hand. You think they're doing really well. They've certainly picked up a few cards that work together, and you've just taken hopefully one of them off them. Maybe you haven't. Maybe that card is really good for you. This is 1 point per boat. I've played a load of boats already. They're going to be probably a little miffed that you've done that, which means in the next round, and they get a chance to steal a card, they're probably coming to your hand. So you get that sort of really fun interaction between the players, not only from what they've left in sort of that central market, but also from that sort of interaction of stealing. Now, if you're not a huge fan of stealing, and some of the players I've played with have hated stealing in other games, and I'm not a huge fan of it, this is just enough to keep it risky to have stuff in your hand, but also it doesn't happen that often. There's like 4, maybe 5 of those pairs of shark swimmers in the entire deck. And then you've got boats, shells, octopuses, all of these other things in there. So it just doesn't happen much. It maybe happens once or twice in a round, and it just keeps you on your toes and hoping, I really hope they look at that person's, not look at that person's hand, but look to take something from that person's hand, because I'm holding on to something good. And any one of these really drops the amount of points that I've got. So if you're a huge sort of negative of stealing from other people in games, this is just enough to keep it sort of spicy, or, the extra salt, adding that in there, but it's not like a key aspect of the game. It's sort of to keep you on your toes, but it's never to the extent of like just steal, 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 steal. It's not that, if that's what you were worried about. Personally, I really like the look and the vibe that they've gone for with the origami artwork, and sort of brings the paper part of the Sea Salt and Paper name to life. I do find that sometimes you definitely are looking at the symbol in the top corners, because some of them it's like, is that a shark? Is that a big fish? What is that? Oh, it's an octopus for that set collection. And sometimes the actual sort of very nice, I find it really nice, sort of satisfying artwork doesn't necessarily let you just instantly read what that is. But always the symbols are in the top corner, so you can tell. And also one thing I'd like to note that they've done is every colour has like a special symbol or shape thing next to that. So if you're colourblind, or you struggle maybe to see the difference between the two blues, well, there's a special colour symbol effectively next to the type of card, so you should be able to use that. And that's not something I've seen in many games that utilise colour as a trait that's important, but they've done that, which is a nice thing that I do want to shout out. All of the abilities, not just the stealing one, feel really cool on your turn. Having another turn, bang, that makes it feel like you've got something extra. Maybe you've drawn 2 cards, kept a boat, discarded something, I'm having another go, and you can pick that one back up from a discard pile. Or you know one of those penguins, and you're set collecting the penguins this round, one of the other penguins is at the bottom of that sort of draw pile. I play the crabs, I'm going to take something from this one, I've got that other penguin, I'm calling the end of the round because I've just got 5 penguin points in total now from that extra penguin. And there's some really cool times where it's like that 1 power is exactly what you need. And other times it's like, oh, I really wish that I could go through one of those piles or try and steal that card off you that you've stolen from me. But I don't have that shark at the moment, and you're sort of hoping it's going to come out. So you draw from the deck. 2 chances, neither of them. But, ooh, this works with my plan at the moment, so I can get rid of that. And at other times, you draw 2 cards and you're like, from the deck, I don't want to discard either of these. Both of them are good, and that gives you a really good choice on your turn. But not a choice at any point that's going to take too long. So the speed is kept up regardless of if you're playing at 2 or 4 players. It comes around the table really quickly back to you. Stuff in the middle can change a little bit. It's not drastically. Just enough, but it keeps the sort of market fresh in the middle of the discard piles, but most importantly, it always goes around the table really, really quickly. Your first game, because there are a few different abilities, because there's different things to set collect, and the different ways that the round can end of pushing your luck, maybe that first round can feel not clunky, but it can feel a little bit like, ooh, I'm out of my depths in the sea. Let's link it back to the name of Sea Salt and Paper. But actually, as soon as you've finished that first round and you're shuffling the cards back up for round 2, instantly, people, you can be like, yeah, I'm seeing how this works, let's go again. And I think that is one of the reasons I've really enjoyed this game. It's a super small portable box, and it will be going with me to places where it's like, I know there's going to be 3 of us, 4 of us, even just 2 of us. This can go in the bag and we can play a quick game over the rounds, build up our points, and someone win. It doesn't outstay its welcome, but it just feels like it does have a bit of depth due to the different options. One round, a penguin could be scoring me so many points. The next, I'm discarding it because that's not what I'm going for. And this card, well, that lets me play these 2 boats down and get points for them, maybe, or also just take another turn and go for the shells that I'm collecting that round. So it's got many things you can aim for, and it's little bits like when both, you can tell it's like, they're collecting the shells as well as me. Is it worth me fighting over them here? I'm not sure, because neither of us are going to get many, because it definitely builds up the number of points you get for collecting loads of them. Having half the shells, it's good, but it's not great. So plenty of different choices. I really have enjoyed it, and I'm excited to throw in the extra salt cards, which I have got, and I'll be sort of doing a little review on that when I've played more. But I've just been doing the base game, and this is definitely all you need to enjoy a really, really fun game that's quick around the table, got some great set collection, some great choices for players. Should I go for just loads of abilities? Oh, I've got this card, right, maybe that's what I'm going to look for this round. Do I want to risk it near the end of the round? Or do I just want to play it safe and be like, I've got some extra points, let's stop there, before, hopefully, you've gained too many points. I've really, really enjoyed Sea Salt and Paper, and I can easily recommend it. Let me know in the comment section below if you've tried the game, and if you've tried extra salt as well, as I'm hoping to get that thrown in straight away now I've recorded this review and enjoy the extraness of whatever that brings. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought, if this review has helped and all that sort of jazz. Go and check out other news, reviews, etc. on the channel. And until next time, have a sea salty good day.